Hey guys, what's up? Happy New Year to everyone. So I'm gonna do another video today. I'm gonna cover "You've Got Another Thing Coming" by Judas Priest. It's a very popular song. There are lessons on it on the internet and YouTube. I decided to go ahead and do the song because I do know the song very well. Because I used to play in the band. It's one of the songs we used to play all the time. So of all the Judas Priest songs, I probably know this one the best. But that's probably why I waited so long and not doing this song because there's so many lessons on it. But I decided since there's only two songs left from the Screaming of Vengeance album, I might as well go ahead and finish up. So I will do this one, and then I'll do the last song on the Screaming for Vengeance album somewhere in the near future. So we complete the entire album. Um, so that will cover every single song from that great album. So thanks for tuning in. My guitar is going to be in standard tuning, so it's E-A-D-G-B-E. That's the standard tuning, and the key is F sharp for the song. So let's get started. Here's the first part of the song. It goes like this. Also, the first part of the song is probably the easiest part. Is just the power chord on the F sharp power chord, second fret on the low E string, and fourth fret on the A string. And I use my pinky on the A4 and my index finger on the E2. And I palm mute on those two strings and just keep going. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's one measure. You do that for 4 measure, okay? But on the 4th measure, you only play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop right there. You don't do the 4 and. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's one measure. Second measure, same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and third measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and fourth measure goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right on the and part, you gotta play these. Pick upward, and you play the 5th fret of your B string, high B string, with my middle finger. I'm sorry, ring finger, and 4th fret on the G string with my index finger. That's the way I play it. You can play it differently if you want, but those are the same two notes. So it's G4 and B5. Okay. That's basically an E chord. Okay. So again, the 4th measure goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. And then after you play that, the next part, the 4th fret of D and G string together. They kind of just go down a little bit and upward like as a so again, it was like 1 and so go. Kind of go down, kind of mute down, and then upward on the chord. So upward on the chord, the second chord is 4th fret again, is D and G together. You mute down again, and then you play the F sharp chord upward. So that's the same F sharp chord we played for. So the whole thing goes like this again. Oh, by the way, the 4th fret on the D and G, that's a B chord. That's a B. It's like a B power chord. But we're only playing those two notes together. So again, slowly. Okay, next part. So what I'm doing is I play. You got to do a lot of barring here. So play the 2nd fret with D and G together, and then open low E string, hammer on the 2nd fret with the same index finger, and you got to pivot down a little bit and use your index finger, and play the 2nd fret again, the D and G. You got to move up to 4th fret on the D and G string with your index finger. Play those 2 notes. And as soon as you play that down stroke, you play upstroke on that G4 and B5. So it sounds like this together. Oh, I forgot this 1 note to go. You're going to play the 2nd fret again before you play the D4 and G4 together. Now, when you play that, after you play the 4th fret, D and G together, your index finger is already on those 2 notes. So you just borrow all the way down and put your ring finger on the 5th fret on the B string, and you do the upstroke chord like that. See it? So slowly. And back to the same pattern. So the last part, I don't move my index finger up. The reason why I did it before, using index finger play the 4th fret of D and G, because I need to play that 5th fret on the B string with my ring finger. That's why I moved my index finger up. Now, the last part where you do play that, we need to go back to the F sharp chord. So I use this time I'm using my ring finger and play the 4th fret of D and G together. So it goes like this. See how my index finger, ring finger on the 4th fret on D and G, and upstroke on the power chord of 2nd fret of E and 4th fret on the A. Alright, so let me play for you again 1 more time slowly. Slower. Well, let's move on to the verse riff. It goes like this. It's all F sharp. The trick is that we'll do the F sharp power chord for this one, and we'll do the 2nd fret of E and A together, and hammer on the 4th fret. So we have that chord, and then we also have the open E string and 4th fret of A together, with my pinky on the 4th fret and open E string, and the hammer on the 2nd fret on the E string, my index finger. So you got, and you have. So the whole thing put together, the riff goes like this. Okay, so the first part is just the same as palm mute all the way through, and then the last measure after the sing and stop, it goes like. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'll play palm mute on the 2nd fret on the E string, and play the F sharp chord, the whole thing, so just like that. And then you do the same thing again, 2nd fret or low E, and then F sharp power chord. And then you have to palm mute on the 2nd fret on the low E string 4 times. And then you play the 2nd fret of low E and A string together, and then hammer on the 4th fret of the A string with your pinky, while you're letting the 2nd fret of the low E string ring out. That's the chord I'll show you. So the whole thing so far with this. Okay, this is what we have so far. The next part, you play open E string by itself, and then that's palm mute, and then palm mute low E string and 4th fret of your A string together, and one more time, and then you hammer on the 2nd fret. Okay, so the last part goes like this. Okay, so the whole thing put together goes like this slowly. One more time. Slower. We play the whole thing fast, it would sound like this. Okay, the next part is a pre-chorus riff. I'll start from the end of the verse riff into the pre-chorus. It goes like this. First time the chord, let's just play the F sharp chord, and you play the open E string by itself, and upstroke on the D chord, G2 and B3. G2 and B3, and then open E string again. You got the open E string down, and you go upward on the second fret of A and fourth fret on the D string, which is a B power chord. And then back to the F sharp chord, downstroke on the low E string one time, and upstroke on the F sharp power chord. Okay, so again it goes like this. Repeat. The last chord you got to move up to a C sharp power chord, which is A4 and D6. Okay. Okay, and then the last part, what I'm doing is I play the second fret on the D and G string, and then twice on the second fret on the E string, barring with your index finger, and the second fret on the D and G again with your index finger, and then you have to play palm mute on the F sharp power chord 5 times. And then you play the second fret on the D and G again twice, and then palm mute on the second fret on the E string, and then second fret of D and G again one time, palm mute on the low E string again one more time, and then fourth fret on the D and G. Okay, so far we have this. Okay, slow down one more time. Okay, 5 times mute. Now the next time you do the exact same thing, after you palm mute 5 times on the second fret of the low E, and you play the second fret of D and G again, and this time you got to play the open E string and hammer on the second fret on the E, and then second fret of D and G, and then 2nd fret on the low E, and then 4th fret on the D and G, upstroke on the F sharp power chord. Actually, I go upstroke on the 4th fret on the D and G, and then down on the F sharp power chord. Like that. And then we have one more part, I call it the interlude before the solo. And the chords are the guitar quiet down, and you play this B minor 7th chord. You do that twice, 2 measure, A, and F sharp. Okay. The B minor 7th chord is 2nd fret of A, and then D4, and with your index finger barring down on the G2, 2nd fret of G, and then the middle finger on the 3rd fret on the B string. Twice, and then A power chord, which is this open A string, 2nd fret of D and G together, and then the F sharp power chord, E2 and A4. Okay. Now, while I was doing that, this another second guitar goes like this. When you play the A power chord, okay. So I'm doing is I play the 4th fret on G string. So you bend up 4th fret on the G string, and once you release, you pull off the 2nd fret, you bend up 4th fret again. And the second time you bend it upward, you gotta tap on the 16th fret on the G string. And when I tap on the 16th fret, what I will mean is that tapping on the wire, 16th and the 17th fret. Okay, so that's the interlude, and then we go into the solo. Okay, the solo of You've Got Another Thing Coming is very basic, a pentatonic scale solo. It's based on the F sharp pentatonic scale because the song is in F sharp. So you play the F sharp power chord. If you do the F sharp pentatonic, you'll go 2 and 5 on the low E string, 2 and 4, A string, 2 and 4 again on the G on the D string, 2 and 4 on the G, 2 5 on the B, and 2 5 on the E string. You take that and you move 12th fret up, basically an octave higher, and you'll have this position right here, which is the 14th fret. You play the exact same pattern. You see it's the exact same scale right here, just an octave higher. 14th fret. Okay, so that's all it is. So the first phrase goes like this. Okay, so you take the 22nd fret, you bend a full step, you do it 4 times. When it's about to release, and then you play 17 on the high E string, and then 19 on the B string. Okay. Okay, the second phrase of the solo goes like this. Slow down. Okay, so I'm going to play the 16th fret on the G string, bend up full step, and then 14th fret on the B string and 14th fret on the high E string. I pick it inside. What I'm saying is I pick upward on the B string on the 14th fret while my index finger is barring down, and then play the 14th fret high E string downward, downstroke, and then back up on this 14th fret on the B string. So it's like I'm playing the inside of those 2 notes. So it's picking inside, up, down, up. So and then you play the 17th fret on the B string, pull off the 14th fret, and then you play the 16th fret on the G string, bend up full step, picking inside again, upward, down on 14th fret on the B string. You do it 4 times. And then one more time on the 16th fret on the G string. And you play the 14th fret on the G string. So the whole thing again goes like this. Okay, next part. Okay, that's pretty cool. This has a flat. Now you have extra note in there. You have a flat 5. The 17th fret on the G string is not the pentatonic scale, but this is a blue note. So the pattern goes like this. So now we added the 17th fret on the G string. So that bluesy sound to it. So the phrasing goes like this. So I'll play the 16th fret on the D string, 14 on the G string, 17th fret on the G string, bend up full step, bend up half step, and release back down. And the 16th and 14th fret on the G string again. The next part, 16 on the D, 17 on the G, and then 14 on the B string, 17, 16, and 14 on the G string. Kind of like a little, when we play the 14th fret on the G string, kind of like little pull down just slightly. And then 16, 14, and 16 on the on the D string. Vibrato, and then 14th fret again on the G string, bend down, and kind of dead stop. There's a little blues trick like that. So I'm going to play slowly for you again. So far we have this together. Okay, the next phrase goes like this. Slow down. Okay, so 14th fret on the D string, hammer on, pull off on the 16th fret, and the 16 on the A, D14, and then 16 and 15 on the A string. So far with this. Next part is 16th fret on the D string, pull off on 14th fret, and then 16th fret on the A string, and then 15 and 14 on the A. So far with this. And then 17 on the E string, 14 on the D, and then 16, 15, and 14 on the A string, and then 12th fret on the A string, hammer on, pull off on 14th fret, and they pull down on the 14th fret, like that. So the whole thing slowly goes like this. Okay, the next one. So I'm doing is I'll play the 17th fret on the B string, bend up 3 times, and 14th fret on the B, 16 on the G, 14 again on the B, 16 on the G string, pull off 14th fret, and then 16 on the D, 14 on the A string. So after we finish that phrase, the next one goes like this. So I'm doing is I play 12th fret on the B string, bend up to 14th fret, full step, and then play the 10th fret on the B, 11 on the G, back to 10th fret on the B string, and slide down to 9th fret. You'll pick the 9th fret on the B, slide down to 7th fret, and then you play so you do that 3 times. So once you slide down to 7th fret, you play the 9th fret on the G string, bend up full step, you do that 3 times, and then 2 more times, 7 on the B and 9th on the G, bend up. Yeah, so you go twice, and the 7th fret on the B string, again hammer on the 10th fret, and play the 9th fret on the G string, bend up. So that's the whole phrase. Okay, we're the last phrase. It's the longest one. It's a lot of notes to remember, and all the notes are the same position, so it gets kind of repetitive and it's hard to memorize. So I'm going to break it down first. I'll break the last phrase down into the slow beginning, and then we'll cover the fast part. It's the second part. So the first part of the last phrase goes like this. Okay, so you go slide up to 17th fret, so you play the 17th fret on the B, and then 14 on the 17th fret on the E string, and bend up full step, release back down, and play the 14th fret again on the E string, hammer on and pull off on 17th fret, B17, 14 on the E, 17 on the B, pull off 14 and hammer on the 17 twice, like that, and the 17 on the G, 14 on the B, and 17 and 16 on the G. So far with this. Okay, one more time. Okay, then the second section of the last phrase goes like this. I'm going to stop and play the first part first and lead into it. So let's stop right there for now before we move on to the next part. So we'll play one for you one more time. Alright, so what I'm doing is here, so after you play the 17 and 16 fret on the G string, and then you start playing this part here. You do that twice, so it's 14 on the B and 14 on the E string, back to 14 on the B, and then hammer on, and then play 17th fret on the B string, pull off on 14th, and then 16th fret on the G string, bend up, quarter note. You do that twice. After you do that, you gotta go high E on the 14th fret, and then B string on the 14th fret, and then 17th fret on the E string, pull off the 14th fret, and 16th fret on the G string, bend up. So far we have this. Okay, after you do that part, the next part goes 14E, 14B, and 14E. Okay, and then you go 16th fret again on the G string, bend up, and then 14E and 14B, and then 17 on the B string, pull off on 14th fret, 16G, 14B, 17G, 14B, and then 16 again, last note on the G string, bend up. So the whole thing slowly goes like this. Well, I'm going to play one more time slowly. There's so many notes, repetitive, so it's easy for me to just play it, so you can follow along. Probably the best way to do it. So again, it goes like this. Next part. So on this I'll play the 16th fret and 16th fret of G string and 17th fret on the B string together, and with my pinky and my ring finger, and I'll use my ring finger to bend up the 16th fret on the G string full step, and I use my pick and my middle finger on my right hand like a hybrid picket. I will pick the G string down while my middle finger grabbing the B string, just kind of plucking upward. Okay, you do that 3 times. 3 more times. Release down the string just a little bit. 3 more times. One more, release all the way down. And play the 14th fret on the G string end step phrase. So the last phrase again goes like this. Well, thanks for watching. So that was the whole solo. So let me try to play the whole thing slowly from the top, just solo for you one time, and you can just follow along. Okay? It goes like this.